What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It's looking like we are not going to hold this area as support, my friends. I'm starting to think that we're going to go lower, right? And we're right here. I mean, obviously, it's very easy to call that we're going to break this area now, but whenever you have one area to bounce, that's nice. You have two areas, okay, you got the double bottom. Maybe here, okay, we got a little tweezer bottom on the double bottom, that's nice. But when you got 3 days in a row prodding this area, it makes me think, and you just kind of have to accept it. We're probably going to go lower, and that's okay. That's totally fine. If we're looking at this here from a low to a high, it is the 30th day of August. We're coming into the end of the month here. It's not the end of the month that we were looking for, but that's okay. September is going to be great. Starting to accept that we go lower makes me think that we have a 1, 2, three-legged correction. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Typically, these 1, 2, three-legged corrections are symmetrical typically, or the third leg can even be bigger. So with that in mind, if this is the symmetry that we're looking for is basically right, I'm trying to get it like perfect, pinpoint accurate. Yeah, like right there. That would take us right between the 0.5 and the 618, and we could find support here. There's sense to be made out of finding support right there. Prior resistance, prior support right there. We could find support right here. It's very possible. We take a low to a high here. And that's right there just below our 1414, possible. But we're also at that very close to this golden ratio. So I would say then, sometimes these legs are a little shorter. Sometimes they're the exact same length, or sometimes they're even a little bit longer. Most of the time they're the same length or a little bit longer. I would think then that ZBCN has the statistical probability at this point of going down to 0.0353, and if not there, somewhere around 0.033. We could go as low as 0.031. So I'm going to open up this whole range right here. That's where I think we're going to go. Okay. At a bare minimum, 0.037. Okay. At a bare minimum, that's where we're going there. But I would doubt that we stop there. I think that we'd push a little bit further. But there's reason enough to stop at this area, and even a little bit below there. All right. So 0.035. 0.031, most likely between 0.035 and 0.033. That's where we're going to go. All right, that's my expectation at the moment. And then from there, you've made your move up. You have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-legged move up, and you have your 1, 2, 3-legged move down, and then you're off to the next one. Right, this next move should take you to new all-time highs. All right, but first we're going to make this move down. Probably by the end of the first week of September, you're going to be coming down. And then going into the rest of September, we should be moving on up. That's my expectation at the moment. Or you never know. 8 hours, 54 minutes left in the day today. Maybe that's whenever we drop down there. Again, it was 0.035 to 0.033, or 0.031 even, but 0.035, 0.033. That's the sweet spot, I think. The faster we get it done with, the better, right? Just like we were talking about back here. Ideally we just get a flash crash down to this area. Right? Even if it went a little bit lower, that's better than taking all this time and then coming back up. We could have been a lot more developed. If the faster that things move down, the faster that shakeout is, it's kind of better actually, because then you can just resume moving up a lot sooner. If we're looking at this on a 1-hour time frame, so I'm praying for a fast drop essentially. Looking at this here, I don't believe in quadruple bottoms. They don't exist. That's a quadruple bottom right there. Quadruple bottoms, my friends, are inevitable breaks. That's all it is. So we are literally a ticking time bomb waiting to go down. Might we get a bull trap first and then go down? Maybe. Might we just break here? Maybe. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised by the time most of you watch this we were lower, or maybe at least by this time tomorrow we'd be lower. Stochastics are oversold, bearish. The RSI has broken out of this, what was an attempt of an uptrend, higher lows and higher highs here. You've just broken out of that, bearish. Especially because you couldn't even get overbought. That's extra bearish. Rejecting the zero, bearish, all on the 1-hour time frame. That would suggest that likely by the time you guys watch this, we're probably breaking out of this to the downside, okay? 4-hour time frame here, very bearish. Yeah, looking at this, the RSI is rejecting the 50. The stochastics rejected the 50 as well, very bearish. Yes, you have bullish divergence, but I don't care. I don't think so, man. I don't think it matters. The MACD, getting some green while seeing some lower prices. That's nice to see. You're definitely close to your low. But bearish overall, yeah, bearish. I think that you're gonna go lower here. I don't like the way that this looks personally. And again, if you move up from here, if by the time you're watching this video and the price is up like 10%, don't get too excited, okay? We could be all the way up at 0.044, and that's still not compelling enough evidence that we're saved from going lower, okay? Likely, as long as we're below 0.048, sorry, 0.045, we're below 0.045. the odds that we're going down are still there. Okay, still there. And again, this 1272 to 1618 is at about 00375 to 0034. I like that golden ratio right there between our optimal target based off of the 123 corrective phase that we drew, right? Based off of that, the 0035 and 0033 area, that's right there in the middle at 0034. So that might be where we go. And we can wick a little bit below there again, right? That overall golden ratio, this is the golden extension of this little move, but the overall golden ratio of this this low to high here, it would be just a little bit through that orange line. So I wouldn't be surprised if we went a little bit past that. Yeah, it all bearish implications here, all bearish. Looks like you want to go lower, but on the bright side, with the RSI looking the way that it does, you'd be getting set up for some bullish divergence probably. If this happens the way that I think it will, you'll get a wick down to this area and you'll come back up and close. Probably you'll get a nice sized wick and then close up, get some bullish divergence going on with your 4 hour, and then over the coming maybe over the coming days you drop, but then over the this next week, by the end of this next week, we should be starting to move back up higher. And when we move higher, not if, but when we move higher, Zebec's not dead. It's definitely not over. Okay, it's got higher to go, but this is, it is deconstructive, and it's not showing life here where we were hoping that it would show life. So the next step down would be the 382, which, hey, it's right there at 0035, right in that area. It all makes sense no matter what fib we cut, no matter what price areas we're looking at for significance. It all makes sense that 0035 area to 0033, that's the area to go to. Likely after we're done with that, whenever we start to move up higher, my expectation would be that we see Zebec go. I mean, first you might find turbulence here between about 1.5 cents to about 1 cent there. Psychological resistance at 1 cent, 1.5 cent with the golden ratio. You might find turbulence there, whatever. But inevitably, I think you're going up to 2 cents or higher, right? 2 cents is your secondary zone, the 1886. The 2618 is the end of your secondary zone. And that's all the way up at about 4.5 cents. So something between 2 and 4.5 cents is the ultimate destination. We were thinking that it would happen by the end of September, but it's looking like it's probably going to be sometime in October, if I really had to guess, and that's fine. Whenever you do break out above these highs, it's go time. And what do I mean by go time? Right? Let's get our heads right. Whenever we break above these highs, notice how I drew it. I didn't even mean to draw it like this, but you kind of dilly-dally, whatever, you do your thing, but once you break out, boom, it's going. It's going to go, right? It's going to move faster than it has since May, right? We're going to move at the same pace that we were moving here, essentially. More or less. You're going to see paces like this, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit faster, who knows, but something like this is going to come back into the Zebecian charts here, and that's going to happen after we get above about 0063 on a daily closing basis. Until then, we're in limbo. We're going to drop it low real quick, and then we're going to come up. It's going to be fantastic. I wonder, if you bought here, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you're like, yeah, right, C-Zar, it's going to go up, it's not going lower, okay, that's fine. Then from here you've got a 5x potential. If it goes to 4.5 cents, you've got a 11x, almost a 12x potential, about like an 11x potential. But if it goes to where I'm thinking it goes, which I'm leaning toward that 0033 marker, honestly. If it goes there, those same areas, instead of a 5x, you have a, what is it here? At a minimum, you would have about a 6x, and then at the maximum, instead of 11x, you'd have about a 14x almost. So it might be worth the wait. It might be worth the wait. But if you buy here, that's not a problem. I mean, you're still at relatively low areas, right? If you buy here, that's not a problem at all. Just tell yourself, I will not sell if it goes lower. I will only buy more, or I will hold, right? And these lower prices are not promised, okay? I've been wrong before. I can be wrong again, but I'm very confident that we do go down there. I have nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.